today. The last 4 rounds of the NFL Draft will happen today with rounds 4 through 7. With SRN Sports, I'm Patrick Foss.
This is Coach Big C, and you're listening to the Mohawk Valley Sports Watch on WKL 1450.
Welcome back to the Mohawk Valley Sports Watch. Let me see if I can get Coach on the line. I don't want to keep him any longer. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Sorry about the phone problems. I'm soloing here this morning, so I had a little bit of difficulty.
That's all right.
So, Coach, how are you? How are you doing through all this?
We're doing okay. I mean, obviously, it's great to spend extra time with the family. And we lucked out. We got a puppy probably 2 weeks before Fordham shut down, so she's loving it. But, most importantly, the family's healthy, and we're all doing well, and we're able to keep in touch with our guys. We miss our kids. We miss being able to do what we love, but these all things must pass. So this thing will go away soon, and we'll be back in business.
And, Coach, I've been talking to a lot of coaches here over the last month or so, and, we've been talking, how much bigger over the years social media has gotten and how teams now are basically doing all the virtual stuff with, whether it's Zoom meetings and Facebook and Twitter and all that type of stuff. Is that some of the things that you guys are doing as well with the players?
Yeah. So Fordham was very proactive in setting us up with university-wide, setting everybody up with Zoom accounts, like a lot of schools did. So we meet weekly with our kids in a Zoom meeting, and then we've been able to do some position meetings as well over Zoom. Show the kids video. We were able to get 6 spring practices in before the shutdown. So we have some definitely have some things we can go over with the guys and some things we can talk about.
Yeah, and Coach, luckily you guys were able to get 6 in. I'm sure, like everybody, they wish they could have got more in. There were some schools who didn't get any spring practice in, and you guys returned quite a bit coming back from this past season. You guys had some injuries. How nice was it to at least get something in?
I'm sorry, could you ask that question again? I couldn't.
Yep, no problem. I was just going to say some teams, didn't get any spring practice in. Luckily, you guys were able to get 6 in. How important was it to get at least those 6 in for you guys?
It was hugely important. Last year we only had 6 seniors, so we're blessed with a lot of returning players. But we're changing some things around defensively, and obviously offensively. We had one mid-year enrollee, so he was able to get 6 practices under his belt. And we had some guys from last year, as you always do, were unable to participate in spring ball because, rehabbing injuries. So to get the younger guys quality reps, and, our last practice was a 100-play scrimmage, that's invaluable. So we were very, very fortunate. People kind of thought we were crazy starting spring practice on February 26th, but, it was, in hindsight, it was a great decision.
And, Coach, I was looking at the schedule for this upcoming year, and I got to tell you, I graduated in 2002, and I never got a chance to play at the University of Hawaii. I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome.
Yeah, hopefully we can still play that one. That's going to be a great. That's going to be a great trip for the administration, who obviously set up the game, our alumni, our kids. And it's we're going to, obviously we're going out and treating it like a business trip, but at the same time, because of how it times up with travel and things like that, we'll have time to have a little bit of fun together too.
And, Coach, over the years, I mean, when I played, there were grants, and now the Patriot League obviously can give away full scholarships. Has that changed the type of student-athlete that Fordham recruits now? Has it changed? Is the talent a lot better now than years ago when you can just offer the grants?
Well, I think yes and no. When you played, and there was obviously a much higher. The roster limit was much higher, so we're capped at a 90-man roster limit. And also, I don't have great familiarity familiarity with the league back when it was, non-scholarship. But, I'll say this, it seems like being in this business that every year recruiting has become a little more competitive. You mentioned social media early. It's harder to find those diamonds in the rough because of how much easier it is for these young men to get their film in front of college coaches now that it's 100% electronic. So, which is great. It's great that all these kids can get exposure. I think the quality of the game just naturally has gotten better with advances in strength and conditioning and the electronic recruiting and social media and just the awareness you have of what's out there from a recruiting standpoint.
Yeah, and I was at the I always have being in upstate New York here, Coach Hunt from Colgate is always on with me, and we do talk, and I always tell him, go easy on me, Coach, because I'm a Fordham grad, and I'm always pulling for the Rams here. But I was at that game last year, so we got to get him this year. I know you're playing him down at Fordham this year, I believe, right, Coach?
Yeah, Colgate is at home this year. I mean, I think Dan's doing a great job. He runs a heck of a program up there. Obviously, I don't think any of those guys are happy with the season they had last year, but I don't expect them to be down very long. And they're always great to compete against. Going back to when I was at New Hampshire and Yale, so that's one we look forward to every year.
And Coach, talk a little bit about the Yale piece, because I know you came from Yale and some similarities academically with Yale and Fordham. But as far as recruiting goes, is it similar recruiting the Ivy League and the Patriot League?
Similar, yeah, in terms of the academic structure of it. Obviously, there's a different component with, the fact that we're allowed to offer full scholarships. So our process can be a little more immediate than theirs in terms of not having to wait for financial aid and things like that. But what Yale and Harvard prepare you for is just the volume, and when you're at a high academic institution like Fordham, you have to cast a very wide net. So you can't just recruit the Northeast or the Mid-Atlantic. You have to really go coast to coast. So learning how to handle that kind of volume and set up that infrastructure was one of the most beneficial things I took away from the Ivy League.
And Coach, you're an offensive guy, and last season Fordham led the Patriot League in passing and scoring. You return a young quarterback and Tim DeMerit. We had a really good year for you last season. Talk a little bit about him, and I know you return a lot of guys, so I'm excited for this upcoming season. I'm hoping we have it, because I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Timmy, unbelievable kid. He's having a great off season. Even at home, he's finding a way to get some work done. Great kid, is really kind of emerging as a leader. He was his freshman and sophomore year, he wasn't ready yet to kind of command the entire offense. And now that part of his personality is starting to emerge. But exciting. We think he can make every throw we want him to make. He's got things he needs to work on. He can do more damage with his legs than he does, and he could speed up his urgency a little bit in the pocket. But when you have a 2-year starter essentially returning, you have to feel pretty good about it. And like I said, we have a lot of weapons coming back around him. So just kind of excited to put it all together and get these guys back here as soon as we can this summer.
Hey, Coach, you got a special running back, too, and Zach Davis had a good year last year for you, too. Talk about him a little bit.
Zach's a great kid, plays with a chip on his shoulder, really tough, competes every day, asks questions. He and Trey Sneed, really kind of just push themselves in practice every day. They compete against each other, but in the best way possible. Really fortunate to have Zach, really for 2 more years. So he's doing great right now. He's in Connecticut with his family, and he's having a heck of an off season too.
Well, Coach, I'm excited. I got to get down. I'd love to see the facility. I haven't been down in a while, but my goal this year is to catch a game and say hi to you, introduce myself to. I have to get you on my new show. I got a new show during the week as well. I'd love to have you, and hoping for a good year. Hopefully we play some football this year, Coach.
Absolutely, 100% agree with that. Obviously, I want to thank all of our healthcare providers and our frontline personnel out there. They're doing an unbelievable job, and we hope everyone's safe and healthy. But yeah, definitely, we'll get you down here, and they're building us a new office, so you may not recognize it. The university is come through in a big way. They're doing an unbelievable job, so we're getting a new office, and we just got all brand new equipment in our weight room, so it's exciting. So we're excited to get after it, and hopefully we'll see you in the Bronx soon.
Will do, Coach. I appreciate it. Go Rams.
Go Rams.
That's Coach Joe